We here. Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. We here. We on here live after this Sixers playoff win. Try to turn your phones down because we gonna get alerts. Turn your phones down. What was the score? What was the final score, fellas?
We here. 118, 125.
I just heard it.
Sixers pull it.
Sixers win, man. Hats off, Toby. Toby came to play. Tobias Harris, man. He put the team on his back. Whole first half, man.
Sure did.
Listen, I take the up and downs off a week, but our 3-point shooters, Danny Green, Seth came through when we needed them, man. So this was a good win. This was a good team win, man, all around. So what y'all want to start off at?
Listen, I agree. And this is what I felt like. First of all, I do want to start off and say, I felt like it was a little bit of hosing for the city. And I'm not one to do a whole lot about the ref bashing and stuff like that.
I know you're going. I know where you're going.
Calls on Embiid, the second and third offense, the second and third foul calls were suspect to me. And I thought that it dictated a whole lot in the game because it took the Sixers out of where they play. Their style slow to pick the game down. They had to speed it up without, and it gave Washington that space in here. But like Ethan said, Toby held us down and kept it tight.
I gotta give Tobias Harris all the credit in the world. We won this game off of his back. He balled out, especially that first half. He had over 20 points in the what do you have, like 28 in the
26 to 28 first half, man. Listen, let me ask y'all something.
Wait, let me finish. But but I'm just saying, Tobias Harris, because we gave him a lot of flack last year in the playoffs because he didn't show up, and we let him know that he didn't show up. And we usually start off by praising everybody else. But I really want to say Tobias Harris get all the praise for this particular game. He balled out, and I
praised him. I praised him,
but I didn't.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Listen, what do y'all think about the refs this playoffs, man? Is it me or is they calling a total different game in the playoffs? I've seen it since it's starting the playing games to me. They letting a lot of stuff go.
I don't know if it's a totally different game, but I will say this: this whole season they've been suspect, and it continues into the postseason. Like it's like you don't know what, like it's no consistency, and unfortunately we were on a down. Honestly, not even just against us, because when I'm looking at that game earlier, it's no way Lynn should have been getting the benefit of more calls than anybody else on the court. He got the benefit of more calls than Bradley, Beal, Joel Embiid, anybody.
They treated him like he was part of their network. I don't know. They gave him. He got a lot of cooking. I can't say home cooking. They just gave him all the calls. I didn't know who he was before the game. Now I know exactly who he is. I mean, and the crazy thing is, if he didn't miss so many free throws early on, it could have been a different result because he was missing a lot of free throws.
No, Mark, I think it's because of Doc. Remember, they said, and Wayne said this earlier. I think Wayne might have been the first one to say it about Doc saying Toby was dribbling too much. He don't need him doing all that dribbling.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of Doc. Because remember, he had one of his best years playing with Doc over there in L.A. with the Clippers. So Doc knows Toby. He knows what he got to do to get him going.
Yeah.
So
that's what he said. And actually, that was me who said that because I said Doc.
No,
that was me. Because let me tell you what happened. Because I know exactly what happened. Doc Rivers called Tobias Harris on the phone and said, "Yo, I'm watching your tape. You're dribbling too much. You're doing this too much. Get back to what you used to doing." That's what he told him, and that's what I said on the podcast originally.
Okay, you're saying that, but like Ethan said, I brought that up because I posted it in our chat and showed. Now you might have wanted to look at the video afterwards.
No.
Okay. Calm down.
All right. Another person that I would like to give a shout out to is George Hill. George Hill.
Yeah, solid game.
There was a lot of people taking shots at the OG.
Yep. Especially Ethan.
And Mark,
he ain't show me nothing.
Mark on the live. We gonna tell Mark too. Mark, where's his apology?
Yo, are we gonna give props to Shake?
For what?
It was up and down.
Now, wait, hold.
I'll give props for Doc for putting Maxey in.
Maxey in over Korkmaz. I know that made Tim happy.
I give Doc props for that. He didn't go with it too long.
I got to give somebody a little bit of props too. Seth Curry had a sighting in the second half.
Yeah, he sure was missing in the first half.
He did.
He was MIA. I mean, he was invisible. He was like the invisible man. I ain't see nothing as far as the first half go, but the second half, because even didn't one of y'all say y'all was glad that he was hurt, or y'all was like good? One of y'all said good when he went down.
Seth?
Yeah,
that's probably Wayne.
No. Listen. You know what? I did.
He was off.
No, I did. You know why I said that? Because Maxey got in the game. Because I wasn't sure if Doc was going to put Max. And as soon as Maxey got in the game, he got an aim.
That energy.
But you know,
go ahead.
I don't match it. To me, Doc had too many bench players in at one time. That's how they took the lead. You remember that? He had like 4 bench players. I think it was 4 bench players in Tobia.
He only did 3 this game.
Now, I was 4. It was 4 in Toby. Because it was Shake, Tork, Dwight, Toby, and Hill.
But they kind of had to, though, because Embiid was in foul. That's what I'm saying. Them putting Embiid in foul trouble. Now, like I said, if Embiid was out there just hacking and doing dumb stuff, it is what it is. But I thought they were 2 suspect foul calls on a potential on a guy that was considered an MVP candidate. You giving Len the benefit of these calls, and 2 of them was trash to me. That offensive foul call when he bodied them in the lane, I don't think that was an offensive foul. And then the other one when Len went running down the lane and just ran into Embiid, I just thought the refs dictated too much early on.
All right. Can we talk about? Oh, go ahead. Were you about to say something?
Go ahead.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
What's the elephant in the room?
Ben Simmons.
Oh, he did good. What do you have, a double-double?
He had a good game.
A good game.
But a bad offensive lane. But he played, that's to say,
listen, I don't have no complaints on Ben this game. We didn't need him. We didn't need his offense.
But here's the thing. That's because I blame that turnover on Embiid at the very end of the game, where the only reason why, because he had the ball in his hand because they were scared, and Ben was scared to have the ball in his hand. So they forced him to it, and then the ball ended up being turned over it went off his foot.
So you're going to put that on Ben Simmons because Embiid dribbled the ball off his foot?
No, what I'm saying is the only reason why B had the ball in his hand is because they were scared. The team was scared for Ben to have the game because they didn't want to put him on the line.
Because Embiid is our closer.
No, they didn't want that
Embiid is our closer.
You know who I want to thank
for the ball in his hand.
You know who I really want to thank for this win, though? I'm going to pick up for the boy Ephraim, but I want to thank Russell Westbrook. Oh, my goodness. Russell Westbrook is the worst shooting scoring guard in the guard I ever seen. He can't shoot the ball, and he's a turnover machine. But he had 3 turnovers in the last 2 minutes. He had 6 total.
Technically, he's not a scoring guard. He's a point guard.
He has 6 turnovers.
I mean for a guard. What I mean is for a guard that averages 20+ points a game, he's the worst shooter I've ever seen. I don't think I ever seen a guard with that bad a jump shot that can score at the volume he scores at. Have you?
Bradley Beal score. He has 6 turnovers too, though.
No, what I'm saying is Westbrook's career average is like 24 points a game, but he can't shoot the ball.
Then you don't give credit. I get what you're saying.
I do give credit to that, but that's amazing. I mean, it hurts in the playoffs. It hurts your team.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, it could, but like getting back to Ben real quick, because this is where I kind of disagree with Tim. You're saying Ben had a terrible offensive game. He had a terrible scoring game and shooting game because he missed the free throws. But you can't have 15 assists and say he had a terrible offensive game.
No, that's what I said. It was a good and bad. I'm you know me. I'm the biggest Ben fan on here.
I get what you're saying, but
what I'm saying is he had 15 rebounds, 15 assists. That was great. I have no problems whatsoever. Only 2 turnovers.
Assists and turnovers are offensive.
Yeah, I gotta agree with my man. My man, Fear XL. Yeah, them free throws. Ben got to make them free throws. He missed terrible.
Absolutely agree.
Got to make them. He went over. Wayne rides him all year about. That's the only thing Wayne complains about Ben with.
And this is why, because I feel like in games like this, that's what I'm saying. This is the whole point that I make about Ben Simmons. I'm not hyping and saying he's going to, like, he could be this great offensive player. Like, this is why I don't in that part, because I don't think that he will be. offensive scoring player, I should say. But this is why I say about the Sixers as a team, if your shooters are shooting, like in the first half, they wasn't hitting. In the second half, Danny Green hit a couple shots. Seth hit a couple shots. When these dudes are hitting, then that all matches for the Sixers, because now it's like, and like you don't have to have Ben have this jump shot, because they was missing wide open shots the first half. And then when they started hitting them is when we started clamping down.
You think Thibault feeling a little from missing all them games? He got to get back in the sync because he struggled a little bit to me.
He did. I can't even remember him being in the game, to be honest with you.
No, he struggled early on, but down the stretch, Thibault in the second half, Thibault actually picked up and he started playing better defense on Beal, because he was off on a lot of them pick and rolls real easy.
Thibault only had 14 minutes in the game. He didn't play that much.
I give props is due. Bradley Beal is a machine. He's a scoring machine. You had maybe the defensive player of the year on him, and it didn't matter. He still was getting to that hole.
No, he can get buckets.
I ain't gonna say that, because Ben actually held him in check a whole lot with a lot of that stuff.
He has 33 points.
Okay, he shot 1 for 6 from 3. Isn't that what barely? So basically, Bill was going to the basket though and scoring.
Yeah, that should be harder.
Why? But you rip Westbrook for going for the basket and scoring.
They two different players. I didn't rip Westbrook for going to. I ripped. You don't listen. I ripped Westbrook because he can't shoot the ball. You see how bad he was missing them jumpers?
Neither could Beal from 3. He was breaking.
Yeah, he was off. But his three. The thing I say about this, his threes was open. They weren't even contested. They were open.
I wouldn't say that his.
I mean, I don't got no problem with getting nobody props. He's a. I would love him on this team. He's an excellent scorer.
No, absolutely.
But this is my point about having more than one dude that to score the ball with our team, with Toby and Beal. This is what the NBA is turned into. As you see, Bradley Beal had no help tonight. Zero help. He had 33. The next score was Westbrook with 16. We know how he looked. So this the NBA, man. The NBA is about buckets.
It is in a way, but that's just like Washington scored. They scored what they had like almost 100 points.
No, Mark, listen. Hold on, I got dressed. Mark said so. I want Ben to shoot like Westbrook. Look, I think Ben. When I watch Ben shoot the ball, he doesn't have a bad form. If you watch Westbrook form and everything is terrible. I don't know who his shooting coach is. I don't know what's going on there. But to me, Ben doesn't have a bad shot. I think he has a better shot than Giannis, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
but
that shot at the end of the quarter looked like it didn't look too bad either.
That was broke. The 3 was broke.
It didn't look bad.
Somebody playing up on, like, see, to Ethan's point though, that 3 was with somebody pushing up on him and playing like up underneath of him. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about for him to just shoot when he's wide open and they're daring him to shoot. First of all, he couldn't have did much worse than what Shaking was doing in the first half. Cork shot like 3 bricks. Like Cork and Shake in the first half. Like, oh my God.
He's not ready. And I hope Doc realized that he's not ready and just leave that alone. Leave that experiment alone.
I can't. Listen.
No. You're not going to sit there and tell me Cork Monster is ready to play in the playoffs.
Hold on. But you got to, what you do is, and what Doc did, some coaches would have rolled with him and tried to, if he's not hitting, he got him out the game.
He did.
That's what you do.
He got 5 minutes. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's. But in them 5, if he gets in that first game and he's stroking, you leave him in. If he he bricking, you take him out. That's what Doc did.
Yeah. So you actually give him Doc props for the way he coached this game?
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't like. I told you, I just don't like. He left some best players in too long.
He don't challenge. He don't use his challenges the right way to me, because there was that second Embiid foul or that third foul in the first half. He should have challenged it. It's like, and then the one that he did challenge, I'm like, yo, it's clear as day that his foot was that Bradley Beal was.
I think sometimes when you go with the challenges, you looking at your assistant coaches or your guys like that to help, because Doc not sitting over there looking at the camera like that. So it's like you look at your guys.
But you still gotta. Sometimes he was awful all year long, including the challenges.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I agree with Ethan. I think that Doc did what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, like leading up to this. We were talking about how is Doc going to make those changes. We was talking about him snatching Curry out, but you know what I'm saying, fortunately he didn't, because he woke up. And that's the other thing too about Cork last time. You saying that Cork had a bad game today, So does that mean you don't give him no burn the next
No,
time?
but he did the right, like Ethan said, he did the right thing when he noticed that he wasn't hitting because he shot like 3-4 bricks wide open. Because one thing about Ben found
so with Shake. Hold on, Shake had
in the first part.
Shake had 5 points
in the first half.
1 for 3.
Bricks.
But
listen, hold on. Why we you ain't give Danny no props? He was 3 for 4 from 3-point land.
Who, Danny?
Yeah,
Danny was fresh.
He struggled a little bit on D early on, which he usually do better.
But Danny Green gives you this. This is what Danny Green gives you, though. Like this, I don't expect. Like, you know how sometimes we talk about expectations. This is why people feel how they feel about Ben. But Danny Green, what Danny Green gave me tonight, what George Hill gave me tonight, I appreciate. This is what I expect from them. Maybe Danny a couple more points. This is what I expected from Seth. If you're getting open shot, like the role players did what I expected of them in the second half. In the first half, it was a little shaky.
Now, speaking of role players, Tim said something that I want to address. He said you should have yanked Seth. Now, this is it's the difference between a starter and a role player. You can't yank a starter that early because a starter is a guy with you gotta lean on this guy. He's gonna eventually give me this. The bench players and role players are a little different. That's why there's starters and there's role players and there's bench players. So you can't yank Seth that early because you know he could come around. He could come back around. Seth, would come back around. Court might not come back around this game. Shake might not come back around this game. So you got to live with hopefully Seth will come back around and give you buckets like he did. Big shots. Him and Green.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I agree with everything you just said about that with the role players because you can't just yank bulls out that quick like that. You got to, if these are guys that you depended on to get you to that point, you got to go with that.
The boy Maxey.
Go ahead, hate on my young boy.
He should be the second. No, I'm actually saying he should be number 2 behind Dwight Howard, probably the jumper of the game. I know he's going with the veteran presence of George Hill, but between him and George, depending on the matchup,
you can't. I don't think. Yeah, depending on the matchup, but I don't think him and George Hill, neither one of them shoot good enough threes to have them on the floor at the same time. They don't spread the floor enough. They both attackers.
Listen,
so
the thing
you stand with George Hill, then
I'm saying Maxey and Hill on the floor at the same time. I don't know how much spacing you'll get. Who else you gonna have out there? You're gonna have Maxey, Hill, and Dwight out there. 3 dudes that's not gonna give you no space.
Coming in.
No. Actually, though, Ethan, I think George Hill actually is not a bad 3-point shooter. He didn't shoot well. He hasn't been shooting well, but I mean, like career-wise, he's like what 30-something 3-point, like mid-30s. For 30s 3-point shooting for his career, so he can shoot. But honestly, I think you got. So this my thing is, if we're talking about guys whose shooting is not that great, but when you got Korkmaz and Shake supposed to be our shooters and they not shooting, what's the difference? I'd rather have the guys that's going to bring the energy and make the smart plays. And I thought George Hill came in and he played like that seasoned vet. Like this is
he did.
This is what we were expecting from George Hill, but it's like. It's kind of like he had to get in his groove, and maybe that week off helped him to get into the groove with the team.
And Dwight Howard, Mark is actually giving Dwight Howard some props. He did have a nice game.
He did okay.
No, don't. Why are you giving him a backhanded compliment?
Because when Dwight and Shake was in the game, we lost the lead. Dwight and Shake was a -13. Dwight was a -14. He did okay.
Vice versa. Flip it. Dwight was
I put that more on Shake and Court because Dwight, if we look, Dwight was down there by himself with like 3 people around him trying to get rebounds and battle. Dwight was in there battling. Like that it wasn't on Dwight. It's the fact that the guys whose job was to shoot, Shake and Court had wide open. Remember
they did. And they brick bad. They missed bad.
He did.
They missed bad.
They was, and it was wide open shots. This is what you get. This is your job. This is what you get paid to do. If they hit 1 or 2 of those, then you don't have the bench is not collapsing like that. If they do what they were supposed to do.
Now I will say this about Doc. I feel a little better about Doc, especially after what happened to the Clippers the other night.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you got the same results that you got.
I feel a little better. I feel a little better about Doc
Rivers.
It ain't Doc.
The same
it
results.
Ain't Doc. So I mean, their series ain't over yet. But
you got Paul George showed up. And no, not Paul George. Paul George semi showed up, but Kawhi showed up, and Paul George, he did whatever he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. He was up and down in the game.
So we going around the league with it too after this, or we still talking some Sixers? Or we gonna go around?
No, we still talking Sixers. Listen.
Okay.
Let me ask y'all this, because we got to address it. We talked about it a little bit. We got to address it. Ben had 15 rebounds, 15 assists, a steal, block, 6 points, 2 turnovers. He's a plus 18.
Plus 18.
Are y'all happy with that? Are you happy with that? Your playoff numbers going forward?
Yes, if we win. And I, because I stand by, this is what I've said the whole time. If Ben is getting all these assists, and now the one part, like I said, I've been saying all season, he has to hit free throws.
I'm not happy with that.
Go over for 3 free throws.
I'm good with that, but I'm not happy with that because offensively, there's going to be a series. It's going to be a game where we're going to need that offense. And again, this is because Doc Rivers and the staff, they didn't work on it throughout the year. So this is what you're going to get in the playoffs. You're not going to get any consistency. We saw when you saw how Doc Rivers went and said we had to get Maxey out of shooting that floater all the time. We wanted him to keep going to the hole and doing other things. If you notice, in the beginning of the season, all he was doing was the floater. We got him out of that. That's what he said in a recent interview. They didn't do that with Ben. They just said play to your strengths. If they did the same thing they did with Maxey, like, okay, do this with your game offensively, then he would be a little bit better now than he is at this point in the season.
Ben, all I want to be honest with you, this is all I want to see from Ben. He has to shoot the free throw better.
It's not this year.
I agree.
I guess it's not going. But I actually want to see him make his layups. Is that too much to ask? Like, he misses a lot of his putbacks and I don't know why he misses so many of them, but just get them little bunnies.
You know, it's funny. I felt like everybody was missing a lot of layups today for some reason. Like even Washington, with some of those plays, I'm like, dang, they was missing bunnies. It was
Westbrook. Don't count Westbrook. He just
y'all hate on boy Westbrook.
It was even like a series like when like Dwight and Tobia. I don't know. Maybe they was like
he is Draymond Green. You right. He is Draymond Green. My man, the assassin, PA assassin, he's Draymond Green. We had I don't know if you heard none of the pods, assassin, but we said this a lot. Me and the other co-host, my blood, we call him Draymond Green 2.0. He is. He's a little more athletic, a little better scorer. Draymond Green. I agree with that. Wayne, you agree with that too?
He's better than Draymond Green all around.
No, listen. I can go with that. I think he's a better offensive player, a better scorer.
Woody had to miss that bunny like Draymond did at the end of the game. Draymond threw that at the rim like it was a hot potato.
First
and
of all,
Bull not here because he don't want to show his face, y'all. He don't want to show his face after that Golden State loss.
First of all, Ben would not have missed that shot that Draymond shot because Ben wouldn't have shot that. Ben ain't gonna shoot that running teardrop if it's not a dunk or layup. Ben not shooting that down the stretch. So Ben's not gonna miss that shot. But this all I'm saying about Ben Simmons, and this is what I've been consistent in saying about him. If he's making the right play, now it was one pass that it kind of irked me. Like they swung the ball around and he got it on the wing and he drove to the basket and then he tried to do like a
and he passed it me too.
Dwight got fouled. To me, that's the one. Go and attack. Go up there and attack and make them foul.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I actually have it in my notes. I just said if he just dunks that ball, the whole stadium, the whole everybody in the arena is gonna go crazy.
Let me ask you, why don't you think Ben gets the calls? Is it because of the way he attacks? He seems out of control. I notice he don't get a lot of calls from the ref when he attacks the rim.
I don't think. You know what? I don't think it's a thing.
I do. I think the refs kind of look at a guy like it's like if you're forcing. Sometimes I think if the refs feel like if you're forcing like everything up in there, they willing to let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like let stuff go, let it play through. He's not going to give you the calls as much. But if Ben, I agree with y'all. If Ben had a better little mid-range and stuff like that and a little adaptation to his game, I think he would get more calls. But then he still
I didn't realize how good they were as a role player, the boy Ish Smith. He's better even like today.
He only had like 5 points.
The boy is still you dismissing him. The boy Ish Smith is a good player. He's a very good player.
Listen, I underrate his defense. He's real feisty. He blocked Tobias Harris' shot.
He did. That was a big shot. I was surprised he did that.
When Maxey came in and matched his energy, he wasn't doing as much.
So
Yeah, Maxey got an and one. Maxey came in straight and got an and one on him.
Doing that with Korkmaz and Seth and all them on him, but when Maxey came in and matched that energy, I don't think I wasn't hearing Ish Smith name.
So you dismissing Ish Smith as a good role player for the
No, my whole point is put Maxey on him and we see what it is. Put somebody with that same little guy energy and see what he did.
I like the boy Ish
Maxey gonna give him the work.
Hold on, but are we going to get an MVP props? How he closed the show at the end?
He did.
Well, I've been saying he our closer, but
he closed the show, man. What he had, like 6-8 straight or something at the end of that fourth quarter?
The game would have been
minutes.
It would have been as close as they let Embiid play the game. They didn't even let him play. He did 30 points in 30 minutes. I think.
Listen, but it was good for Tobias going forward. You know what you got. You know what you could do.
What been our discussion about Tobias? That the point that you and Ephraim had brought up.
He got to come out. He got to come play in the playoffs. It better not be a one-game wonder.
I know. I agree. But Tobias definitely did. He came out with a whole different mindset. He came out aggressive. He was going to the basket. It was we kind of played bully ball on him. And that's why it kind of hurt when Embiid came out, because early on you had B went down there. He had the little fadeaway, but then you had Ben attack down in the post early on, got a couple baskets down there. Tobias was going at the back. Like, we were playing big man ball against them. And then when Embiid got in foul trouble, it kind of like it took us out of that. And I that's why I say I put a lot of that on the refs. If some of those suspect calls are not made, I think we blow them out, honestly.
Y'all still think it's gonna be a gentleman's sweep?
I do.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get one. I ain't see Westbrook playing with that energy either. You know how he usually play against the Sixers, like that mad energy? Y'all seen that tonight? I didn't see that. Was that just me?
You gotta remember, they just got out of a tough 2-game series 2 days ago. They might not just have the energy, period. When they played Thursday, then they got to come back again tonight. We've been off for like
sad music for you. Go ahead, talk about how. I don't want to hear that.
So you don't have no empathy for these Bulls.
No. If you would have played better all season, then you wouldn't have been in the 9th spot and had to play-in games. So
yeah, they was in the 10th, right? And they got in.
Yeah.
No. Indiana was 10th, right?
Indiana. I think Indiana was 8th.
Oh, so Washington was 10th?
But you know what? No. I gotta look at that again.
It was them in Indiana in the 9-10 game, right? No. Wait, Washington. No, you're right. 7 and 8. It was Washington and Boston that played. No, you're right. It was in the 8th spot.
Oh yeah, then Indiana and Charlotte played.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
So when we come back Wednesday, 7:00.
Yeah.
Another home game.
Yep.
What y'all got? How y'all feeling?
I think
we take both at home.
We not losing home field at home. Home. I keep saying home field, home court advantage at home. We definitely gonna do something.
I think we see a resurgence of Beal, though. I mean, to me, if you watch the game, he was playing right when they doubled and trapped. He was passing out, playing through him. Yes. I seen a different Beal tonight. I seen a determined Beal.
When that hard double came, he got rid of that ball, and that's what I liked. Then when he was down low though, he just said, "Yo, I'm gonna give him some mama's cooking," as which say Dwight. What's his name? Kwame Brown. When he was down low, he just bossed him. He just big manned him up, and then he just laid the ball up or dunked on him.
Now I think Beal at one stretch, like I guess like when he came back in, he started trying to do a little bit too much. And I give Doc props because Doc called a timeout. It was like one play, Ben Simmons, I think he had like Neto pinned under the basket or something. Like Neto was under the basket, Ben was there. All B had to do was drop it to him, but I think it was like B wanted to try to prove something, and he did like an extra move, and I think that's when he got called for a walk or something like that. It's like, and Doc called a timeout, and it was like, all right, settle down, like you gonna get yours, like, and I give Doc props for that because I thought it was excellent.
Yo, let me ask y'all, what do y'all think is the best series going to be in this first round of playoffs?
Oh, Miami, Bucks, in my opinion.
I think Denver, Portland going to be good.
Ooh.
Portland already stole the first one.
Then that series, the Brooklyn series,
that's going to be a sweep. That's going to be a sweep.
It looks interesting.
That's
If
gonna be
Boston
sweet.
had Jaylen Brown,
It'd be different. Yes.
No, I gotta give Boston actually came with it yesterday. They came with it.
But KD stunk the first half, and then they came back, and the Nets did what everybody expected the Nets to do, which was their big three. That's what I'm saying. If Jaylen Brown is in there, and then you have Jalen, what's the guy name? I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Jalen Smart and
That point guard.
Is
their
he?
main guy.
Somebody said Paul is hurt. Chris Paul is hurt. Did y'all hear that?
Is
I
he?
got looked at. I don't know if I believe that.
Playing now, ain't they? Maybe he just got hurt.
You talking about Paul George?
Chris Paul,
CP3.
Today,
Are
they playing now?
Let me go to my Twitter.
Right now.
Because if he hurt, then that's
He hurt. Yep, he got hurt
Again.
He always get hurt in the playoffs.
Yep.
So so Lakers.
Who said that? Good looking out, Julian.
Lakers just won that series. Lakers won. Lakers in 6.
Yeah.
I'm still not even gonna say that yet. I gotta see what Devin Booker.
No,
yeah, Chris Paul hurt.
6.
Oh no.
Is it a serious injury?
I don't know. He hurt his shoulder. He hurt his shoulder. He went for a offensive rebound or something. Hurt his shoulder. He's laying on the ground.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, he tried to block LeBron.
That was dumb.
He is always hurt in the playoffs. Man, CP got hurt. He got hurt again when he was with Houston. Yeah. Remember CP got hurt that playoffs? He played the OKC.
He got hurt when with the Clippers too before. I don't know if it was in the playoffs, but like during the season, that's when Blake Griffin came out and started actually shooting jumpers and bringing the ball up court and stuff.
They had that magical. So
he said LeBron made a deal with the devil again.
He did. LeBron.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about this whole LeBron with the COVID. Also, LeBron didn't have to go into COVID protocol.
Come on, man! Like this is it's almost like now the boy Ephraim ain't here, but it's almost like Steph Curry not playing in the playoffs. Like, come on, man! This is you want to see your superstars. You want to see your superstars play. I know.
Yo, here's the great thing about this: if Phoenix go down, then Utah is the only team that be in our way from having home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs.
Man, listen, you keep worried about this home court advantage in the finals, bro. I just want to get through this route.
But I'm saying,
especially the way that this joint went in the first half. I'm not
counting my chickens before they have it. What I am saying,
talking about the finals.
Where we in the finals, if Utah's out and Phoenix out, that means then the road to the championship go through Philadelphia, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But what we have in the building tonight?
11,000.
We're we got somebody that watched the show. Jacqueline said she'll be there Wednesday night.
Jacqueline, you better represent. I told her.
Pop on after the game. Make sure you're screaming and let us know how it sounded down there.
Did y'all watch the TNT broadcast or y'all stayed with our home team?
I watched the TNT.
I did too.
Come on, who want to listen to Alan Abadabadabby?
Listen, I mean, I just want to hear the perspective of the rest of the because you hear us, we homers, Wayne, so I just want to hear
I'm a homer.
Yeah.
So
wait. I said wait. I said wait. Then I said wait. But you're the biggest homer in here. But we are homers.
You didn't say Wayne
because you're the biggest homer in here.
How am I a homer though? See, listen. All right, listen. This is what it is. Y'all call me a homer. My whole point of it is we'll look at other teams. That's just like we look at the Bucks. Ain't nobody sitting there saying the Bucks look shaky against Miami. It's like the Bucks won a great game against Miami, and we'll give Bucks all this credit for winning. But then the Sixers in a tight game, and it's like, oh, we look shaky. Like somebody on here said they thought the Sixers was going to lose this series to Washington.
They said Chris Paul is back. Yo, listen, but hold on, Wayne. But it's a difference. Everything is a perspective. Mm-hmm. Miami. Do you think Miami's a better team than Washington?
Playing down the stretch, they was about the same.
Here you go, the politician. Do you think Miami's a better team than you don't?
No.
Okay. That's why I disagree with you.
No, I'll say slightly.
So I do think that Bucks series may go 7 games.
All I'm saying is coming into the playoffs, we talking about teams coming in on a hot streak. Washington has been on a hot streak balling coming up to this thing.
That's regular season.
You don't think that counts coming into? We always talk about people playing with. So that's the same way when we. So okay. So
I'm gonna tell you why.
So when
Playoffs
the Sixers
are
was
different
struggling
animal.
down the stretch, you wasn't all nervous and talking about how the Sixers. I don't like how they going into the playoffs. You ain't say all that.
Yeah, because I didn't like how B was reacting to double teams. I told you that, and how he reacted to double teams tonight got me feeling better.
But that's the point I'm making though, is we do look at how teams playing coming into the playoffs because you're talking about momentum. Yeah, so I'm saying how you going to dismiss it in one breath, but then
because you play players to their you play them you game plan to try to take away their strengths. So and they were saying Westbrook, when he drives, he likes to pass. Beal, when he drives, he likes to score. So these are things now that you're playing for. Ben, we know when he drives, he likes to pass. So that's why when Ben was driving, you see people try to get their hands in the passing lanes, and they got a couple of deflections, right? They got a couple of tips. Because you're concentrating on what dudes like to do, and you're trying to concentrate on playing defense. This is what you do in the playoffs. Regular season, you don't do none of that. You just go out and play ball. The only person they said that really does that's why he's such a good coach, is the boy from the Spurs.
But my issue with when you saying stuff like that is, no matter what, we base everything on what. So when we talk about the Nets, we don't, or we talking about the Bucks. When we was talking about the Bucks, y'all wasn't talking about what the Bucks was doing in the regular season, because in the playoffs they hadn't been balling. We talking about the Bucks regular season, right? Isn't that what we talk about?
They got a whole new different squad though.
Okay, but even with the whole new different squad, they still finished third in the regular season. But we basing that we not basing off of what they played in the regular season and everything. That all I'm saying is
I base it off what the players did in the playoffs that they had. All right, just like remember we based it off Toby's track record in the playoffs from previous, but he didn't play good. So this is what you bet. That's all you have. When I look at these teams going to play, I look at what they did in the playoffs. You look at what Drew did in the playoffs. When he's with New Orleans, he was balling in the playoffs. You look at what the ball. Who's the other ball who shot the game winner? Chris Middleton. He balls in the playoffs. Giannis,
Chris Middleton just balled last playoffs. Before that, he'd been a disappointment in the playoffs.
Well, he got a series last year when he balled.
But okay,
Tobias didn't.
But this is my whole thing is when we're
now he does.
But this is the whole thing that I'm talking about when we're talking about all these things. My whole point is I view my team the same way I view everybody else's team. I don't just look at. I get it, because a lot of times Sixers fans, and I'll keep saying this, a lot of times as Sixers fans, we don't want to get our hopes up. And then we lose. Like sometimes you got to embrace it. We the number one seed for a reason. Washington should not be in it. If it was not for Embiid being in foul trouble, Washington would not be in this game. So and they shouldn't have a chance in this series. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not being a homer. I'm saying as a team that has proven themselves throughout the season to be the number one seed, I'm looking at them that they should mop this team up. And
I don't think they got a chance in the series either. I said 5, maybe 6.
But I'm also looking at in the long run, you have all those other better teams, and I will concede. You said Miami was better. They are. I just wanted to prove my point then. But
you didn't prove it because you just backed out.
but to be honest, they got Miami, they got the Bucks, they got the Nets. All of them have to beat on each other over in that other.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying the Sixers. So when I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at if the Sixers was switched up and they had to go through all that, I would be a little bit more shaky on it. But right now, I think the Sixers should handle business.
I think there's no reason for us not to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If we don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, somebody got to answer.
That Knicks series,
somebody got to answer.
That Knicks series is gonna be tough though.
Yeah, ain't no way we lose
that Knicks series is gonna be tough.
Come on,
y'all sitting there and go ahead. Be puffed up with pride. Go ahead and discount.
That first of all, you gonna have me sound like Wayne, like a homer. We gonna mop them.
Let's let everybody know that Tim is a Knicks fan.
That's right. He is. That's right.
Come on, it's always an agenda.
Y'all should have seen Tim when Jordan was killing. When Jordan was killing the Knicks, he was crying all the time.
Yeah, they cheating for Mike. And come on, bro.
Don't discount the New York Knickerbockers.
Phoenix up 10, huh? I got that game up.
I never discounted the Knicks because, for one, I wanted Julius Randle back when we got stupid Al Horford. I'd rather Julius Randle, and I kept on making a big stink about that. And then I look at the Knicks team. They check all the. It's just something missing with the Knicks to me. It's something missing. Maybe it's youth or whatever else, but I think they have enough scoring. They have shooters. They play defense. They have shot blockers. It's just something missing with them to me.
Yeah,
Tim is a Cowboys fan.
I'm not a Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Here, Cowboys and the Knicks.
I am not a Cowboys fan. I would never be a Cowboys. Listen, y'all. Go on our Twitter page. We actually giving out a free Philly Uncensored podcast T-shirt.
Ain't nobody got their shirt on.
I know. At the end of the playoffs, this playoff round against the Washington, we're gonna randomly select somebody. All you gotta do is like the page and share it, but it's on our Twitter page. But it's a free T-shirt. Go out there and just like the page. There's only 15 people that's liking right now, and 2 of them is my kids, and 1 of them is my wife.
Wait. Listen, I just realized who said Tim was the Cowboys fan. So that's Joey calling you the Cowboys fan.
Oh, Joey. Yeah. All right, we're about to get out of here. Anybody got any final thoughts about the game, about these playoff games that we're watching right now?
Go ahead, Wayne.
I think it's a great first round of the playoffs. In my opinion, I think it's tight games all the way around with everybody. I mean, I gotta wait and see what's going to happen today. But
see, my thing is the first game. The second game, I tell you, the first game, teams come out all hype. Even Washington, you come out all hype. But after that, you just them better teams are going to wear on you, and it's going to be a wrap.
I gotta give our big 3 showed up today. Big props to Ben, big props to Tobias and B. All I got to say is, as far as Ben,
Big 3 showed up.
A little bit more offense from you. That's it. Outside of that,
15 assists is good offense.
He had a nice putback.
I need more scoring.
But that being said, I got a question for you, Ethan, because you actually made a good point. Like you said about Washington. How much of this game? I guess it's for both of y'all, but how much of this game do you think was based on the fact that Washington has been playing all week and they've got a groove going on and everything else? Do you think there's anything to the fact that maybe the Sixers in the second half caught their rhythm, like having that whole week off, and then
you just playing violin when I said the same thing 2 seconds?
No.
I think
I'm asking, does it attribute to that? You was trying to give it as an excuse.
No, I'll say this. I think it has more to do with Washington playing, because in the second half, Sixers got all the loose balls. Washington had no hustle. Sixers was all over the floor getting loose balls and everything. So could that be tired legs from playing them games?
Right.
So
that's why I was saying. That's actually what I was trying to go to. Like is it which one do you think had more of an effect on it? Like the rust or the fact that you're fresh in the second half? And if it's about the freshness, now we talking about the duration of the series, the Sixers should be more fresh.
All right. Well, we'll know Wednesday how we going.
So we live Wednesday too.
I got the Lakers coming out. I got the Lakers coming out the West. You heard it here first.
All right. So you saying Sixers Lakers?
I never bet against LeBron.
So Ethan is a LeBron homer. Wherever LeBron.
I just give props. See, this is my thing. Let me say this real quick. Growing up, right?
All right, go ahead.
I was always a Sixers fan. Charles Barkley, growing up, was my favorite player. Right? I love Barkley. When he got traded, I probably cried. I don't remember it. I kind of blacked out.
I cried when he retired and when he had his retirement ceremony.
I didn't care about retire. I was mad when he left Philly and we got Jeff Hornacek and all these other bums.
And Tim Perry.
and then we got Baby Barkley. I put all my hopes and dreams in Baby Barkley, Clarence Weatherspoon. He stunk.
Spoon wasn't a bum. He just wasn't Barkley.
The guy shot his free throws. But I hated Michael Jordan. Probably like everybody. And see, what happens when you do that, you miss greatness. Now, did I watch him play? Yes. But did I get to enjoy it? No. So what I do now is I enjoy good players. I like to enjoy great players and soak it all in, because I watched the Jordan era, but I missed it because I hated that. I wanted to lose so bad, but Jordan was great.
Yeah.
Jordan was great. So enjoy greatness now. What they always say, give him his flowers while you're alive. I enjoy greatness.
Oh, they gave him his flowers while he's alive. The league did.
They did. Right. They did.
All right, fellas, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We all over the place.
Wait, hey, Twitter, Tim, YouTube. But you said about what they got to do to get the shirt, though. Like,
all they got to do is like the page and share the page, share it, retweet it. All they got to do is
retweet it.
Yeah, once they do that, we're gonna random select somebody whoever retweeted retweet it, and they'll be eligible for the win that T-shirt that we got in there.
So does the work they do?
Yeah, I like Dana Barros. I like Dana Barros though, Mark. I like Dana Barros. Them little dudes that can put it up. All right, we out.
All right, y'all.
All right.